my channel. If you're new, hello and welcome. My name is Jackie and I did the Disney College program for this past fall of 2018 as a character performer, and I absolutely loved my experience, so I decided to make this little DCP series talking about what the Disney College program is, what it's like working there, auditioning, and everything in between. So new videos come on every magical Monday, and if this is something that sounds interesting to you, feel free to hit that subscribe button, or if you just want to support a sis, feel free to hit that subscribe button too. Alright, so just to recap, in the first episode we learned about what the Disney College program is and figured out if that's something that we wanted to do, and then in the second episode we learned about how to apply for the DCP and I gave some of my application tips, and then in the third episode, last week's episode, we learned about an audition process and I gave some of my tips on how you can have an amazing character performer audition experience. Alright, so now that we've done all that, we've applied, we've auditioned maybe, and now we're just waiting. We're waiting to hear back, and then we heard back we got into the Disney College program. Oh my god, what? That's crazy. I can't believe it. Oh my goodness. So we got into the DCP, wonderful, congratulations, and now it kind of just becomes a waiting game. So you pay a few things and you kind of just wait, and as you get closer to your departure date, you'll find out more information, you'll fill out more forms, and you'll do what you need to do till that departure date. So in the meantime, what we can do is think about who we'd like to be roommates with and figure out where we want to live. So how do you find roommates for the DCP and how do you figure out where to live? We're going to be talking about that in today's episode. But first, before we get into this video, I need to choose my ears for the day. And I don't know if you guys can see, but I was wearing this Wally shirt. It says it's never too late to change, and it has a little boot from Wally, and it has Wally and Eve in the back, and they're my favorite. I don't know if you can see them. Oh, it's just Wally. Whoops. So I love Wally, as you might be able to tell. So I'm gonna wear these Wally ears today from the Magical World of Morris. It's in the little shop, an Etsy shop, I think. So thank you so much, Magical World of Morris. These are so cute. Alright, time to get into the video. So once you've accepted your offer, you'll be directed to another page called Dorms, capital D-O-R-M-S. On the site, you'll also be registering for your housing, classes, and any events that you want to sign up for during your DCP. So you should definitely remember your username and password and bookmark this site because you're going to be using it a lot. So now that we've bookmarked the Dorms page and know that that's the site that we're going to be doing a lot of our DCP work on, now it's time to figure out how we're going to find our roommates. So there's two ways that you can find your roommates for the DCP. The first way is like the Disney way, and that's basically just done randomly. So if you want to just go random, Disney will place you with whoever. It will be someone of your same gender. Then you just put the random, that's the first option. And I've honestly heard that that works out really great for people. I know people who've done random and became best friends with their roommates. And I've also heard people who've done random and they just weren't the best friends with their roommates. But that's just an option for you to think about if you don't want to stress and worry about having to find roommates prior to going, and you know that you can probably get along with anybody, then feel free to hit that random one. It's totally up to you. The second way is the way that I think a lot of people find their roommates, and that's through Facebook pages. That's actually how I found my roommates before I did my DCP. Most times when your program is coming up or during like the program season, there will be a Facebook page dedicated to the members that will be joining that upcoming program. So for example, right now it's the spring of 2018, so we'd be thinking about the people of the fall 2018 programs. So most likely if you go on Facebook, you'll be able to find a page called Disney College Program Fall 2018 or Fall Advantage and Fall 2019, participants. And you can join that page, and on the page there'll be like everybody who is participating in the program, who's applying, who got in, and everybody who's basically involved somehow in doing the DCP, whether they're like alumni or they're a parent or they're currently doing it. So on that page is where a lot of people post these roommate surveys that are just really optional. I think an admin made them, and it's just like your name, your program you're doing, basic information about yourself, if you're a tidy person, if you're a morning person, can you cook, all of those things to try to figure out if this is a person that you'd want to be roommates with, if you can find people who are compatible to you, and etc. You can also post pictures so people can kind of see who you are. So that way is really popular because then you can know a little bit more about the person. Even though it's online, it's better than like random for some people who really like to know who they'll be rooming with. So if that's something that sounds like you, then definitely go on that Facebook page and try to find roommates that way. I think that way is more popular just because you kind of get to know a little bit more about someone before they're your roommate. You can kind of message them a little bit. Maybe if you guys live in the same state, you can meet up. You can figure out if you can spend 4 to 7 months with this person as your roommate. So that's like a really popular way too. But it also can be really scary for, it's basically like, what's it called? Cyber dating? No. Like, it's basically like finding relationships online. Like, you don't know totally about the other person. You're kind of just like putting your information out there for others to see. So there's definitely pros and cons to both options, and it just depends on who you are and what you feel like will be best for you. Okay, so just to recap the 2 options, or I'm pretty sure like the only 2 options out there, I'm not too sure how other people find roommates, is either randomly or you find them through Facebook or in other ways, so you can link up with them and register together. So what I mean by that is that I believe you can register for housing 1 month before your arrival date, and when that happens, everybody will get an email with like an identification number, and that's how they'll be registering through the dorm site. So if you want to link up with other people, then one person will be like the registration leader, and they're going to know everybody's registration number and then add it into their profile. So when they register, they're going to be like adding all these people to link up with them. And so when you register, it'll say like the other people that you've linked with, and like you'll confirm if you want to register with them and all of that. So Disney kind of decides on how many people you can link up with. Depends on your arrival date and what Disney really has at that time. So for example, say you've linked up with 5 other people and you're like, okay, we want to do the 6-person 3-bedroom place in Chatham Square. So you'll go and you'll try to register that, but Disney will say, okay, you can only link up with 2 other people. So that means like you can only pick 2 out of those 6 people. So that's where you can kind of figure out like, oh, maybe if I link with this person links with this person, then Disney will see that we're all connected. And you kind of have to just go from there, because you won't know till that month before, till you register, how many people you can link with. You just really don't know with housing. It's kind of confusing, and I'm sorry if I didn't explain it well. But basically, you just try to find your roommates and hope that Disney lets you select the amount of people that you can link up with. Alright, so now that we found our roommates, yay, we got on Facebook, or we're gonna go random. Now it's time to figure out what housing complex to live in. I'll be talking about the housing complexes for your Walt Disney World, since that's the program that I did. I'm not too sure about the Disneyland complex. I think there's only one, so I'm not too sure about that, how that whole housing process works. So I'm just going to be talking about the Walt Disney World one. Okay, so for Walt Disney World, there are 4 complexes. There's Vista Way, Chatham Square, Patterson Court, and the Commons. And there's actually gonna be there is actually gonna be one more that they're currently making, called like Flamingo Village or something. I think that's a pretty funny name, but that's gonna be coming up in the future. So maybe by the time you're seeing this video, there will be Flamingo Crossings Village. Flamingo Crossings Village, I think that's what it's called. Alright, so now I'm going to be talking about each complex and giving some pros and cons to each one. And this is something that you can consider when you are selecting your Disney College Program housing. These pros and cons are kind of just my opinions, as well as some of my friends. I asked on my Instagram if anybody had any pros and cons for the housing. So thank you to my friends who replied and gave their opinions. Okay, so now we're talking about those 4 complexes and the little pros and cons for each one. Vista Way. Pros for Vista Way. The rent tends to be the cheapest over there. It's the oldest complex, so I think that's part of it too. I think it's the biggest complex, so you get to meet a lot of people. There's a lot of international college participants that live in Vista Way, so you meet a lot of ICPs. It's super close to Chick-fil-A and Wendy's, and I think other little places, a gas station. So that's really convenient if you want to get like a quick bite to eat or fill up your gas. It's very close over there. It's also like the main bus stop hub. So if you're not a driver, Vista Way might be a good place for you, because all the buses will stop there, and that's like where the main bus dispatch office is. So there's lots of buses there, so that's great if you don't have a car. Okay, so now the cons. As I said earlier, it's the oldest. So I think it's kind of not the super nicest complex as well. I don't want to use the term ghetto, but that word might be thrown up in the air when talking about Vista Way sometimes. I don't know. That's just what I heard. I don't want to get touchy or anything. Also, because all the buses stop there, it can be really loud, especially if you live close to the bus stopping spot. Okay, next is the Commons. So pros of the Commons. This is the main pro of the Commons, okay guys? The Commons is the only complex where in your apartment you have your washer and dryer in your building, in your like apartment room. All the other complexes, you have to go outside to like this little shed house thing, and they have like external washing machines and dryers for you to use. But Commons, you have it in your house. It's super convenient. I think that's why a lot of people like it, because they can just wash their clothes in the safety of their home, and it's wonderful. But with that, the main con is that Commons tends to be the most expensive complex, and I think it's probably because of the washing machines and dryers. So that's something to kind of like level out too, which one is more important to you. Also, cons for Commons, not all the buses stop there, so that's something to think about too. If you really need to ride a bus, you might have to go to the other complexes to catch the bus. Other pros, the Commons is really nice, and they have like the main activity center, so a lot of like indoor events for the Disney College program will be held in there. Okay, Chatham Square, which is the one that I lived in. Main pros is that most of the buses stop at Chatham Square. It has a very good bus stop, so I really liked it because I couldn't drive when I was there, so the bus system was great over there. They also have like the huge event field, so when there are big events like the graduation ceremonies or the welcoming ceremonies, they're all held in Chatham Square, so that's really convenient too. There's a big field. I think the main pros are the field and the bus stop. It's also not super pricey, and it's not like really dinky, so that's why I like Chatham Square. Cons, I really don't think there are that much cons. Like honestly, if I were to do the DCP again, I think I would want to live in Chatham. Like I really liked it. So main cons is probably that you just don't have a washing machine in your house. Yeah, that's like the only one I can think of. So I mean, kind of biased, but I like Chatham Square. Pros and cons for Patterson Court. Pros is that it's close to Chatham Square. It's literally like so close. Like I lived like in the farthest corner of Chatham, and I was like right next to the entrance of Patterson. So it's very convenient. Because a con of Patterson Court is that the buses don't stop there. So if you do need the bus, you would have to walk from Patterson to either Chatham, and then from Chatham maybe take a bus to Vista if you only need like a Vista bus. So that's something to think about too. If you really rely on the buses, I'm not too sure if you'd want to go to Patterson Court, just because there's no bus stop there. Also, this could be a pro and a con, but I heard that Patterson is also called Catterson because apparently there are a lot of cats there. So pro if you like stray cats, there's a lot of them. Cons if you don't like stray cats, that's something to think about too. I also think Patterson Court might be a pretty small complex, and so I think traffic I also think Patterson Court is kind of a small complex, so the parking situation might not be the best. Like there might just be a lot of cars parked there and not very many stalls. I've heard that a couple times, so that's something to think about too. Alright, so that basically wraps up my video talking about the housing process, how to find roommates, and the different complexes in the Walt Disney World Disney College program. I hope this is helpful to you. If you are planning to do the program, I definitely recommend doing extra research on these complexes, watching other videos, because these are just like my opinions and the opinions of my friends. And if you did the Disney College program and lived in one of these complexes, like feel free to comment down below what you think about the complexes. If you have any other opinions, if anything I said wasn't correct, feel free to do that too, because hopefully this video just helps any of you folks who want to live in one of those complexes, who want to do the DCP. So hopefully that was really helpful to you, and thanks for watching. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, click that like button, and yeah, so now that we've taken care of the main DCP business part, it's time to take these ears off because it is clue time. Hey guys, okay, so I went outside to try to look at some trees. Sorry, it's kind of loud out here. But basically, from last week's clue, which said something along the lines of count up to 3 like you would in Hawaii, and there you'll find me. And I got some really nice help in the comments, so thank you, friends. But basically, I was thinking about it, right? Like, what is 3 in Hawaii? So a lot of times in Hawaii, we use pigeon. So 1, 2, tree, right? So it's probably on one of the trees, so that's why I'm looking at some trees. So in my backyard, looking at our trees, we've been planting some. I don't really know what kind of tree this is, but I think it's too small, so not too sure. This is another tree. Also, don't know what kind of tree this is, but that one's kind of small. Okay, this tree is growing pretty big, so I feel like the clue could be somewhere hidden in here, maybe. So I'm just gonna look around. It has to be in this a tree, right? Oh my gosh, is that it? Ooh! I can't even grab it. Oh, there it is. Okay, alright, we found the clue. Okay, it says, you counted and climbed to find me happy close to the sky. Hawaii was ranked #1, but against this place, it should really be a tie. Okay, I think our traffic's pretty bad, so maybe it has something to do with cars. Let's go back inside though, it's kind of loud out here. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll put down the clue words in the description box below, so let me know if you know where the next clue is. And yeah, I think our Magical Mondays are going to be wrapping up soon. I only have one more video left for my DCP series. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. See you real soon.